Did you know that every 6 minutes someone's robbed or someone's murdered? Last year alone, there were 60,000 people that were robbed at their own home. Another 1.5 million homes were robbed, luckily without anybody inside of it. I'm Matt Allen. Today I'm here to speak to you about why you should own a gun in your home. Crime statistics in 2012 grew to an all-time high. Since 2011 to 2012, they grew by 1%, and I know you say that's not a lot, but when you're talking about there's over 10 million violent crimes a year, that 1% is a lot. There were 84,000 rapes, 752,000 aggravated assaults, and 2.1 million burglaries. Robberies that happened, they varied from at somebody's home, at someone's business, just on the street with everybody's daily life routine. When somebody was robbed on the street, the victim usually lost around $800, and that's just an average. When the crime took place in their home, the victim usually lost close to $1,600 to $1,700. I know you say, well, I'm not worried about guns. I shouldn't have a gun because I can rely on 911. But today I'm here to tell you that 911 is not perfect. Neither are the call centers that you choose to utilize so haphazardly every day. Back in 2013, in April of 2013, in Denver, Colorado, a political refugee named Rand Paul from the Sandines called 911 for help. His car was victimized by a group of Latino males who just decided to throw beer bottles at it and bash the windows out and key it. Rand Paul, like an average, common sense person, left the scene. He called 911 to get away from the scene. The 911 person, operator on the other end of the call, decided that because Rand Paul went to a safe location and it just so happened to be outside of the city limits of where he could dispatch a police officer to, he needed to go back to the scene of the crime. So Rand Paul and his brother Jim Paul Retreat, who was a basketball star when he was in high school and was going on to play college ball, went back to the scene of the crime, where after a 15-minute phone call with 911 and after retreating back to the place where the crime took place, Rand Paul's brother, Jim Paul, was gunned down. 15 minutes on the phone with 911. A police officer was never dispatched, a call was never made, and they died. Now, I know you say, okay, that's not their fault. Had they had a gun, had they had a way to protect themselves rather than just driving back to the scene of crime or leaving the scene of the crime, it would have been different. Crimes that were stopped from guns are growing every day. Just recently, there was a 14-year-old boy in Phoenix, Arizona, who was home on a summer afternoon, just like any other kid would be. He was there watching after his three siblings, a 12-year-old, a 10-year-old, and an 8-year-old. They were all hanging out, playing video games, being your average American kids. Their parents told them, stay inside, lock the doors, you'll be fine, call us if you need us. Well, luckily, just weeks before this beautiful day in Phoenix, the 14-year-old was taken out to the gun range with his father. His father showed him how not only to use the gun, but how to safely handle the gun and protect his siblings. We go back to that afternoon. A knock came from the door from a woman, and yes, I say a woman. She knocked on 4 different occasions, and no one ever came to the door. At this time, she flagged her friend, who was a male, who came to the door, and started banging on the door as well. Shortly after that, they bashed the door in, where the 14-year-old stood with a Glock 23 40 caliber pistol and protected his family. He gunned down the 35-year-old male and critically wounded him. He did not kill him, but that 35-year-old is now in jail for 15 plus years. In closing, I leave you with this, that the difference between owning a gun and not owning a gun is life and death. 911's not reliable. You are going to be your last line of defense if it comes down to it. I ask you today to not only learn how to handle a gun, but go out and purchase a gun. Protect you, protect your family, protect a stranger that might be on the street, or protect your neighbor. This world is a crazy and dangerous place, but if we don't watch out for one another's, who can we watch out for? So, thank you very much for your time. I hope all of you have a good day. And remember, be safe.